Alright guys, so we're continuing to look at the cards that were released on JP in the newest waifu update, and funny enough, in the news, we actually have a new story event announced, where there's actually going to be a new Gohan and Videl card coming very soon. So that's interesting. A lot of the waifu characters getting a lot of buffs, a lot of awakenings, a lot of new cards, all of that kind of stuff. Alright, so today we're going to go ahead and take a look at this Videl. She's actually quite good. She does have to be used on the Peppy Gals team. Now, I would have probably thought about rainbowing this Videl, because at this point, I've already done my Super Battle Road Peppy Gals showcase. This video might come out before that. But in that video, this Videl, or in that Peppy Gals Super Battle Road stage, this Videl would have been very, very useful. But I've just decided not to rainbow her since I'm running very, very low on int orbs. Plus, of course we know, Broly movie stuff coming soon, so I decided to hang back. Alright, so I'll go ahead and level her up, and then we'll hop into an event with the Peppy Gals team, because that's where this Videl has to be to show her full power, basically. Alright guys, so we'll go ahead and hop into an event with this Peppy Gals team right here. Videl gets a 15% attack and defensive buff per Peppy Gals category ally on the team. So a full, Peppy Gals or waifu team will allow Videl to kind of show her best potential. Now, if you guys remember when we did the Ribrianne video, we were able to use her on the Universal Survival Arc team with, the increased and better leader skill than the Int Ribrianne has, because the Universal Survival Arc team has a lot of actually really good Peppy Gals characters on it, so we could build like a proper team while also really going for Ribrianne's, best attack stat or best potential, right? Well, Videl is only on the Peppy Gal category and the Boo category, so we don't really have the same ability for her. Like, the Majin Buu arc, in terms of the girls that unit has, you have like Great Saiyaman 2, Videl, and I believe 18. And that's pretty much it. So you are quite limited on the full Peppy Gal category units you could bring. So let's see how well our girl Videl will do right here. She actually does a lot, which is why she's a pretty interesting unit. She lowers attack on super attack. She lowers attack on her passive. And she also heals on her passive. Like, she does a lot to where she's a very interesting unit. Alright, so she's going to eat a super attack. How much damage will she take right here? Yeah, 47k, that's not that bad. Especially when we consider, again, we're only on a double 100% team here. So it's not like we have crazy stats or anything like that. And as you guys see, we hopped into the Ultra Full Power Super Saiyan 4 Goku boss event, which is one of the newer events in the game. So I do have big time faith in the Peppy Gals team that we can hop into one of the most recent Dokkan Fests. You guys on Global know that this event is going to be dropping very, very soon on Global. It was confirmed that Super Saiyan 4 Goku is the next unit that will be coming out on Global. It's not going to be future Gohan. So, that is interesting to see. I don't think it'll probably take us a little longer to get through this event than normal, but we do have a lot of int type units, so once we get to, Ultra Full Power Goku at the end, he should go down pretty easily. Now this is probably going to be Int Videl's best rotation right here. The interesting thing about her is she does not have any attack links. This Videl, every single link she has is a key link, except she also has Cold Judgment, which is a 20% defensive link. So she is almost entirely, full of key links, which is interesting. Just a shade under 300k right there. Yeah, she's not going to be doing overwhelming damage, but she, is able to do enough. So, we might move through events pretty slow, but, with the healing, the attack lowering, the sealing, like all the stuff the Peppy Gal team can do does allow it to put up a fight in pretty much any kind of event. Now, I'm getting pretty unlucky with the Android 18 key transformation here. Like, this is the rotation that's supposed to do a lot of damage for us. Kefla and Android 18. So, of course, the fact that Goku here is an SCR unit will hold us back a little bit. Plus, also, we have the fact that Kefla, I'm gonna need you to crit, my girl, so we can start speeding this up a little bit. And then, 18, she's gonna look a lot better once we get past this phase as well. Okay, no crits. There we go. See, we got her some orbs, so we can go ahead and sit our boy Goku down. Not quite. Oh boy, yo. All right, so we're chilling for quite a while here against Super Saiyan 4 Goku, I see. All right, so moving on to the next phase. This is still an event too, by the way, that I thought should be a little longer. Okay, I'm actually very tempted to push Videl off rotation right here, just because this is going to be a very long fight, and we don't really need to prioritize her. Like, it's not like her damage or anything is going to be, like, over the top, right? Like, the thing about Videl is that she's kind of like a very good sort of, I don't really want to call her a support unit, but, she is kind of very good in her role as a floater, because she does give herself the attack and defensive buff. She lowers attack by so much. Like, look at that. Goku was only doing, just normal damage because of how much his attack had been lowered. Like, even though Videl is only 1% in the dupe system for me, he was not able to do, like, thousands of damage or, 10k or above. Like, this team, as long as the enemy can be sealed or have their attack lowered or one of those things, this team really, really can sort of run through the gauntlet. Like, again, for the Super Battle, the Peppy Gal Super Battle Road stage, I was able to beat that with no items used. Like, this is not a bad team. If this team had, like, a true category leader, it would be interesting to run. Like, of course, it doesn't have nearly a hard hitter as some other teams do. Like, Kefla, should be the hardest hitter on the team. She does, she does good damage, but it's nothing crazy to what, some other team's hardest hitter might look like, right? This is actually a pretty good rotation right here, too. All three Ribriannes. I really like the SCR Ribrianne. She's one of my favorite units from the batch because, she's a free-to-play unit that is one of the harder hitters on the team as well. Okay, so we'll start getting super attack. 31k is not so bad. Let's see what, like, Gohan and Goten are capable of doing. 29k, not bad. We probably could get through this whole item with no, or this whole event with no items used, I'm sure. Just depending on how I might give, like, the orbs with Kefla and 18 right here. So, like, see, we have all of these green orbs right here. I start giving those to 18, and we're going to be looking real good in terms of our healing. So, let me focus on Gohan and Goten right there. By the way, that Gohan, the Int Gohan right there, the Super Saiyan Gohan from the Shadow Dragon arc, I'm going to be very curious to see if they will bring him in at some point. I presume they will. He would be a pretty good option because, that Shadow Dragon team is still pretty bare bones. It's not like there's a ton. The top tier of the category is good with, like, Omega, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, Ultra Full Power Goku, all of them. But then you start getting to the mid tiers. It's like Sin Shenron, the SCR Trunks are okay. It's just a very, very top-heavy category with not a lot of options. So adding, this Super Saiyan Goten and that Super Saiyan Gohan, I think is something that they've got to do. They got to get some fresh blood into that category, like, sooner rather than later. Okay, so this is still going pretty good, by the way. We're, kind of cruising here, no items used. And we are going to be able to use the Dokkan attack on Ultra Full Power Super Saiyan 4 Goku. So again, even though the category team does move through events slowly, right? Like, we're certainly not going to, one turn every single phase. We are able to still beat it without items, which is pretty impressive to me. So I do like what they did with a lot of these waifu characters. Also to remember, too, that in Ribrianne, she does passively lower enemy attack just by being on the field as well. All right, now I don't think that's going to give us a Dokkan attack. It didn't. Yeah. Yes. Okay, cool. So we can give the Dokkan attack to the Int Ribrianne on the next phase, which will dramatically cut down the time we're going to be on here. This is fun. let's see if we can go for this no item run. I think we could probably get it. Again, Videl, you know, the fact that she's int here will be very, very helpful. So here's the thing though. Oh, okay, Goku can still have his attack lowered. Never mind, so Videl is still going to be incredibly helpful. Because Videl, you know, her usefulness will dip a lot when we would go up against a boss that can't have their attack lowered, right? Many of the latest bosses, however, can have their attack lowered nowadays. They kind of have allowed that to... Here, let me get all of these. They've kind of, like, lifted their restriction. It used to be, like, you know, for a while, all these bosses would be immune to literally every effect. It's just like, you know, Extreme Z-Awakening events, they're immune to everything at a certain point. But they really lowered that attack lowering restriction, which helps out a lot of units in the game. Because now, like, lowering their attack is a very viable option. Like, that was one thing that low-key made Int Gogeta a pretty interesting unit. Because Int Gogeta was one of the few hero cards at the time that could lower attack. Yes, look at that. His attack has been lowered so much he's not even really able to do very good damage at all to our girl Videl. Very good, very good. The waifu team, man. And here's the thing. Like, you know, it's not like the waifu team is done yet because we're still going to get, I would presume, Kefla is worthy of an LR, right? Like, you know, there's still going to be a base form Kefla. We could still get a Super Saiyan Kefla. Maybe what I should do is I've pulled Kefla, I don't know, like 35, 40 times or something wild like that. Maybe I should hang on to the SSR version of Kefla, because you could run both the Super Saiyan 2 and the Super Saiyan 1 versions of her together. But, like, you know, they could release a new Super Saiyan 1 Kefla, they could release a new base form Kefla. Like, there is still additions that oh, the dodge of the super attack. Very good. There's still additions that could be made to this category team where it could be a lot better. And I do think, like, again, they could give us, I think an LR Kefla with, like, a 200% to the Peppy Gals category would be really, really interesting. I would love if they would do that. Because then at that point, you know, depending on if it's like a Caulifla and Kale card, because that's the thing, they could do a Caulifla and Kale card. Like, there's just so many options. Really, a lot of category teams nowadays, you know, Dokkan is obviously a lot more willing to make sort of the combo cards, right? Like, we're even going to get the free-to-play version of Gohan and Videl coming really soon with that story event. So, you know, that allows so many more options for a lot of these teams. And yeah, this is crazy. We totally just cakewalked through this Ultra Full Power Goku event. I also saw some people were a little... they didn't really like the wording of Goku's, like, the translation for global, but it's just as weird. Like, they put... Okay, so I believe the global translation, it's, super... It's like super power Super Saiyan 4 Goku or something, right? Here, let me go see what his translation was. Because I know a lot of people were annoyed by that, but it was like that on JP too, where you would think they would call it like Super Saiyan 4 Goku, and then they'd have the full power in parentheses at the end. But no, they call it Super Full Power Saiyan 4 Goku. Like, it's like they, in the middle of Super Saiyan, that's where they put the full power, which I don't really agree with that decision. Again, I think the parentheses at the end probably would have gotten the job done. Rather than Super Full Power Saiyan. It's like, what? Like, are we... it just sounds... it sounds really goofy, man. So, alright, there we go. Pretty easily beat that Goku event, by the way. The Peppy Gals team. Hey, man, top tier. You know, Videl able to handle business with the healing, the attack lowering, all the stuff she could do. Very good. So, this is Swirling Mind Videl. Her leader skill is Int and STR type, key 3, HP attack and defense 60%. Her super attack is the Hawk Charge, which does supreme damage to the enemy and lowers attack and defense. Her passive skill, Universal Prestige, is attack and defense 15% per Peppy Gals category ally on the team, so she can get up to 105% attack and defense. so she's really going to be able to hold her own, and I think she would make an interesting rainbow unit for this team as well. She also lowers enemies' attack by 20% for 2 turns on her passive, and she recovers 20% of damage dealt as health, so she just does so much. That's what makes her really useful. You know, you combine her with the other units on the team that lower attack or heal and stuff, and you really have like a very strong, self-sufficient, self-sustaining team, really able to go through events quite easily, like as we saw, where we didn't have to use any items against one of the most recent Dokkan Fests in the game. Now, her links are pretty bad. She has Champion Strength, Cold Judgment, Money, 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 Courage, Battlefield Diva, and Shattering the Limit. So almost entirely key links. She actually has no attack links whatsoever, which is a bit bothersome. Her 12 key multiplier is 130%. That's where they're really kind of nerfing these Peppy Gals units, is they're not giving them high 12 key multipliers. And then she's on 2 categories. Really only one of them is a place where I'll probably use her though, the Peppy Gals team. Because the Majin Buu Arc team, you can't really get her attack and defensive buff very high on that team. It's going to be a minimum of 15% attack and defense, because of course she counts as well. But, I mean, if you're going to use her, you would really want to have like Android 18, maybe the AGL West Supreme Kai, but it's really not worth it. The Peppy Gals team, definitely the place for our girl Videl here. But, alright guys, so there we are done. The brand new Videl Awakening, very strong. I love her art. Pigtailed Videl definitely is the winner. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch y'all next time.